Welcome back to this week's episode of The Providers, brought to you by Smoking It Smokers. This week we got a good one. We have some updates of the season and things going on to talk about my horrible preparation and things that don't quite go my way. Greg has a good close encounter. We'll talk about that a little bit, but stay tuned. Thanks for checking us out. Should be a good one.
Nothing cures a troubled mind like leaving boot prints in the mud. As that crisp morning air stands up your neck of hair and your adrenaline starts to flood. When you're a provider, you understand the things the woods can do. How you can lose yourself in the things that you love, but you can find yourself in them too. Yeah, we're the hard-working, hard-hunting, freeze of fair land providers. Yeah, we're the hard-working, hard-hunting, freeze of fair land providers.
Who doesn't love making a delicious meal for their family? Smoking It Smokers allow you to do just that. Simply set the settings and walk away, only to come back hours later to have a delicious meal waiting for you. Smoking It Smokers, when only the best will do.
Here we are. Reminds me of the good old days, man.
You're not kidding. Let's see if we can see how fast we can crank something out on a time schedule. So,
Good Lord, I just got out of work, got a drink in my hand, ready to go.
just dropped my daughter off at soccer practice for an hour and a half, and yeah, we're gonna make this work. We're in the third studio of the podcast right
Yep,
now.
in the man cave.
We've been to Ohio. We've been in the studio at my house, and now we're in the man cave studio. So this is pretty cool.
There we go.
Yeah. So, all right, I got to jump right into this because you told me the other day that you have a great story for me, but you wouldn't give me any details. So, something about a duck hunt. That's all you said.
Ah, dude. I'm a UPS driver. I don't have much time, right? So time is not my friend. And Sam has really wanted to go duck hunting. He's invested. You know, he bought his own gun a few years ago, and just to go duck hunting with me. And he's done field hunts. He's gone duck hunting with me, but not with a gun yet. So like he hasn't actually been on the boat because I had hot fields the last couple of years. So I was just, that's what we were focused on. So the duck opener was just this last weekend, but the weekend before that was, hey, I can go up north a little bit, take him on this duck hunt. I've got this remote spot that Matt and I discovered a few years ago, and it's a sweet spot. I got a long tail mud motor now. Like I am pumped. Like everything is like all things are lined up. Like this is gonna be awesome.
You built the motor, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I built the motor last year. I did one of those Predator 670 motors. It's pretty sweet though.
Sweet.
And so I'm pumped to try this thing out. So 2 weeks before that, I was like, hey, I'm going to be prepared. So,
No, you're not.
yeah, this is me,
No,
right?
You're not gonna be.
So I'm going to be prepared. So I go to my in-laws, which is about 45 minutes north of here, and I grab my boat because I had it stored there. So they're on a lake, and bring the boat home. I'm like, I got to prep it. So I had it all set up for fishing. So I take the trolling motor off, the platform off. I had a sweet duck blind, put that on. When do I do that? The night before, right?
Shocker.
So I have Sam up with me. We have headlamps on. We're putting the duck blind together. We do all that. I get it home, or I had it at my dad's. I brought it home, and I test all the lights. I test interior lights, front headlights. Oh, like everything's working sweet, perfect. We had to wake up at 3 a.m. because I forgot the boat key at my in-laws. So We had to swing in there, grab the key. Luckily, I called my father-in-law at like 10 p.m., 10:30. I was like, I know it's late, but I screwed up and forgot a key. So he left it outside for me. So we grabbed that, and then we continue the 2-hour drive north to our spot. And it's a remote little spot, way off the beaten path. And we are almost there. And I'm trying to look for my little road, looking at my map like it's been a couple years. And as I'm going slow, I hear thud, 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 thud. And I'm like, what is that? So I jump out, I look, and I blew a wheel bearing in the trailer. And I'm like, come on. So Sam's like, well, what's that mean? Is that like a flat tire? And I said, well, it's worse than a flat tire, and it means we're going to have a long day. so
what'd you do?
So I nurse it to our spot. I'm like, we're so close. If I can just get to the spot, I can dump the boat in. We can still do our hunt. And then we just won't load the boat back on.
Okay.
And then I can deal with it then, you know. So we go, it's like a single track through the woods, a couple miles. And it's just whoop, 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 all the way there. And we get all the way back there. I'm like, here's the spot, Sam. He's getting excited. He's like, all right, sweet. I go to back in. This is where preseason scouting comes in clutch, because a tree has fallen into the water right across where the boat landing is for that place. And it's remote enough that probably nobody cares, right?
Right.
And then I was like, well, I'm determined I'm going to get this boat launched anyways. So I think I can go around the down tree and around this tree that's there, and I crank it, and I'm backing in, and I'm like, Sam, just make sure I don't hit anything. Then all of a sudden he starts yelling at me, and I stop, and the boat is now sunk to the axle in mud and not even touching the water. So now I've got it in 4-wheel drive trying to yank it out of there. Luckily, I got it out. And then he's like, well, what do we do now? And I'm like, I guess we're getting breakfast. So
Oh, no.
we unhook the boat. I leave the boat in the gear in the middle of the woods, way off the beaten path. And I'm like, well, we have to go into town, and nothing's open, you know?
Right.
So we wind up at Bob Evans, eat a good breakfast. I have 0 tools with me. So another piss poor planning job by my part. So then I waited till 9:00 for Harbor Freight to open up so I could buy the cheapest parts
Hercules.
tools that I could. So I buy all these tools, and then we had to go. It's like 20-minute drive out there. So we drive 20 minutes back. I had jack it up, tear it all apart, and then you go to buy wheel bearings and that sort of thing. It's like there's a 1-inch, a 1 1/16, a 1 and you know what I mean. So it's like what one is it? You know. So I had to take the whole hub, everything, took it back into town, matched all the parts up, came back.
What time is it at this point?
I don't know. We wound up getting home at 2:30 in the afternoon
With no
And-
duck hunting.
with 0 duck hunting, and I've got a 15-year-old the whole time going, well, if we just hurry up and get this done, then we can hit the woods and go deer hunting when we get back. And I'm like, oh my God, kid, you're killing me. Like, I'm trying here.
Oh
So-
my gosh.
Luckily, I was able to find the parts and do all that. And I pulled like the ultimate old man move. So we're in there in Harbor Freight buying all the stuff we need. And I'm like, oh, a tarp. I'll grab that. Sam said, why do we need a tarp? And then we get there, and I'm laying a tarp on the ground and, you know, like making sure like everything was perfect. Anyways, it was it was an experience, and we never even got to hit the water. Never got to see a duck, shoot a duck. And oh yeah, while we're working on it, what do we hear? Boom, 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 boom.
Oh. Why does this not surprise me?
That's my luck, man.
If something can happen, I feel like it's gonna happen to Steve, and it's gonna be something totally random out of the blue.
Just pure stupid luck.
But I feel like this leads directly into talking about our goose hunt, where there ended up being another mishap,
Yeah, it's been
and you having to alter
it's been an awesome
the beginning of the
season,
morning
man.
slightly.
Oh my gosh, it's been great. So Matt comes all the way from Ohio, and we talked Greg into going, and so
You really
It's-
had to talk me into going, because it was supposed to
it's
rain
horrible weather,
all morning.
rainy, nasty, and we're like, oh, birds fly in the rain, it's fine, like this would be great. And so we have a hunting lease that we lease for deer, but every time it's corn, when they cut the corn, it winds up being a really hot spot. So they cut across the road, but they didn't cut our field that we lease. We've been leasing this place for 12 years probably.
Yeah.
And
Well, we were talking about that. It's been like at least 12 years, because we have pass-through footage from out there.
yeah,
So I
Been a long
I
while.
was arguing with you. I'm guessing you're pushing 15 years, but yeah.
yeah. So when we originally got the place, the owner that we lease from owns both sides of the road. And he said, hey, I've given somebody else permission on that side of the road, so I don't want to revoke that. So I'm not going to lease you both sides, but I'm going to also give you permission for that side.
Right.
Well, that side is super hard to deer hunt. There's only a couple of trees that are actually on our border, and it gets
Mostly
frustrating.
field.
Yeah,
Mostly
it's just a
open
big
field.
right?
Yeah.
So we don't really touch it. Well, for whatever reason, this year the farmer decided to cut that side of the road. He did one swipe on our side and was like, I don't know if he was thinking it wasn't ready yet or if his equipment broke on him. I don't know
Something
what.
to do with the 2 inches of rain that we got
Yeah.
over the course of a day. And
Could have been that too, So I'm thinking, well, this field's going to be hot regardless. So we go out there and we set up and we're sitting there. Oh, and then the hunting property is 20 minutes from my house. And
Yeah, and it was about 30 for me. So I decided I'm going to meet you down there in the morning.
and then I was picking on you because you're like, I guess I'll go on this hunt, but do you have a gun I could possibly use? Do you have shells I could use?
Hey,
Do you have a blind that I could use?
to my defense, I think I left shells with you last year, and I'm sticking to it.
Hey, I'm a little foggy on that, but I'll give you that. So,
But
So
you're
I'm-
right. I did need a gun. I
so
did
I'm
need a
picking on him
blind.
about this the whole time, like, oh my gosh, I gotta give you the whole
Like
guided
having a
experience, right?
Yeah.
And so we get all the way out there and we're at our spot and we're unloading everything. And I picked on Sam and I said, hey, do you happen to grab your gun? And Sam's like, ha ha ha, whatever, because I knew I had grabbed his gun. Then I'm like, oh no.
Uh-huh.
I did not grab Greg's gun. So we get everything set up. I got all the decoys set. They're brushing everything into the blinds. And I'm like, I guess I'll be back. So once again,
I
a
did get
mishap.
to hold your brand new gun though while you were gone.
Yeah, and I was like, it's a brand new gun. I have yet to even fire it. And if a goose comes in, I guess you'll be the first to break it in. Anyways, I take off. Go get your gun. Go back.
Leave us in the pouring rain.
Leave you in the pouring. It actually
For
worked out.
probably close to an hour.
It worked so good for me because I was dry in the truck. The
Matt and
whole
I
time.
knew exactly what you were doing. as we were laying in the middle of the
I made
field.
up for it. I stopped and grabbed donuts and everything. It
You
was
did.
great.
You did. You're a good guide.
So,
Nothing better than eating a quality dairy donut and a Black Rifle coffee sitting in the middle of a cut cornfield in a pouring rainstorm.
yeah. So it starts clearing off. Things are getting good. The guys look around the field and they're like, whose blind is that in the middle of the field? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm assuming the guy he gave permission to, but I don't know. And they're picking on me, joking around about, should we even be out there or whatever. And so then the geese decide not to cooperate. The
No.
weather calms down, winds up being great. We have geese flying over. Nobody's interested. Like, they are just not landing in our field.
Not even remotely.
They're not flaring. They're not doing anything crazy. So it wasn't like I needed to change the setup. They were just cruising to their next destination.
You could tell there was a hot field,
Yeah.
kind of kitty corner to us, not far at all, maybe
Right.
like a property over.
Yeah.
And then across the street, you could tell there was another hot field because it was just 50 more.
Yeah.
50 more just piling into these two spots, and we were like the center runway between the two.
Yeah. And
Just
they were
watching
not
them
interested.
fly over the top of us.
Yeah. So we hunted a while too. It was probably 11:30. We started packing up.
Yeah.
And I went out, got my truck in the middle of the field with a truck and a trailer, and we're loading stuff up. The guys look up and they go, there's a truck just pulled into the field, and he stops at the edge of the field. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, it's probably the guy that has permission or something. He's probably wondering why we've been out here. I haven't been out here in a long time. So,
And he sits there
yeah, he sits there
for like 5 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
We're just sitting there tearing
We're
down,
tearing down, doing our
decoys,
thing. I'm like,
loading up
if
the
he wants to
trailer.
talk to me, come talk to me,
Yeah.
So then he finally pulls across the field with his truck, rolls his window down, and he's like, who gave you permission to be here? And I'm like, well, the property owner. He goes, no, he didn't. And I'm like, okay. He said, I leased the land across the road and I have permission on this side, so that's been our agreement. Nope, just got off the phone with him. I'm like, well, okay, I'm sorry. I'm like, we can talk to him. Like, that's not a problem. He goes, I'll call him right now. My answer was, go ahead, that's fine. So he gets the owner on the line. I explain who I am and that Ron and I leased the property and all that. And he says, oh yeah. And I said, our original agreement was we leased across the road, or we leased that property, and across the road we had permission. And he says, yep, actually, I do recall that. You definitely, that was the arrangement, but things have changed and I had to lease this property to this guy. And I was like, oh. So then the owner was basically like, hey, this is all a big misunderstanding. We're all good. Like, nobody's really at fault here.
Right.
So then we get off the phone with him and I shook the guy's hand. I said, dude, I'm so sorry. Like, I would never do that intentionally, and the guy's going, you haven't hunted here in like 4 years, because I've been leasing this for 4 years. And I'm like, yeah, like, there's nowhere for us to really hunt. And I didn't want to,
The deer hunt.
yeah, to deer
Right,
hunt.
to deer
And
hunt.
I didn't want to bother the guys behind. And this is the first time they've only cut one side of the field. I'm normally on the other side. And he goes, oh, well, I own 50 acres of that on that back side, in that back corner. And I'm like, well, yeah, I typically I didn't want to deer hunt over here and actually mess you up. I didn't know who you are. So then we got to talking and he wound up being really cool. And Greg perks up and goes, actually, do you have a field over there? He's like, yeah. And Greg's like, birds seem to be piling into your property.
Yeah.
So
I'm not afraid to ask. I'll ask anybody.
The guy actually was super cool, and
He
he
did
wound
end up
up.
being cool.
He's like, "Give me your phone information." He goes, "As soon as deer season's over, if you want a late season goose hunt over there, knock yourself out." Like it was cool, and then, we actually might wind up with a pretty good relationship out of the deal. So it was actually a pretty good experience.
And I think
But,
I think the key takeaway, which was good because we had Sam out there with us, you know,
Mhm.
obviously he's watching the interaction. When the guy came up, he was hot, but we'd have been hot too if
Yeah, I would have
somebody
done the
was on
same thing.
what we thought was our property exclusively. And you know, you talked it out with him, got the landowner involved, and you know, right away his tune changed, and like I said, by the time we were done, or like you said, by the time we were done, you got a possible chance to goose on his actual property late season, and you guys exchanged information on deer that you've been seeing and haven't been seeing, and
Yeah.
I think, you know, he said, if you shoot a deer, it comes on my property, just let me know. You said the same thing back. Like, it ended up being a really good exchange, you know, over what was an absolute mishap. But,
Right. Right.
But yeah, I think because nobody came out and get screaming and yelling and swinging and all that
Yeah.
stuff, like
I wasn't swearing at him. I was just super nice and calm. I was calm is
Yeah.
was the key too, you know.
and I think he
So-
was trying to be too. I mean, obviously he was frustrated, but he was
Right.
at least willing to listen to what was going on. So yeah, it all turned out fine. Hopefully you got a late season goose spot, but
Right.
I'm
And then,
sitting there the whole time like, wait a minute, did he just say he owns that field we've been watching those geese pile into all day? So yeah, so then we get out of there like around noon, and it's still raining. It'd been raining for like 36 hours, somewhere around in there, just coming down. So I kept talking to you and Sam, and I'm like, are you guys gonna hunt tonight? Because if this rain clears out of here,
Mhm.
I think bucks are going to be, you know, this would have been like October 19th, I think. I'm like, I think bucks are going to be hitting scrapes and all that stuff, and keep watching the weather and get my stuff somewhat dried out. Decide I'm going to go hit the woods thinking the rain's going to quit at 4 o'clock. I get out in the woods and the radar's like, yeah, the rain's not quitting until like 8 or 9. And I'm like, I'm already sitting here, so I'm getting absolutely drenched. Like, I'm just that kind of rain where you just put your head down and you're like, I'm just gonna take this for what it is, and yeah, when it's over, I'm gonna go back to my warm truck. When I'm sitting there and I look up at like 5 o'clock, so pretty early, right? And I see this small buck come out of the bedding area, and I was like, oh, there's a deer on the move, sweet. I'm kind of watching him, and he's on the trail in kind of the taller switchgrass coming right towards my ridge. I was like, this is cool, thinking he's just walking out to the cornfield. Well, behind him, I catch movement again, reach my bag, grab my binos, and pull him up, and there's a sweet buck. Like, I ended up telling Steve and Matt, I was like, I think he's one I have on camera, but he was actually big enough that he might be a deer I don't have pictures of. He comes out and just starts annihilating this tree. Like, this tree's, I don't know, yay big around. He's on his hind legs getting wrapped up in the top branches of it to pull it downward and just thrash at it.
Yeah.
Making this scrape, I'm like, holy crap, this deer is doing exactly what I've been wanting it to do, you know, as
Right.
far as coming out, hitting a scrape. And it's early. So this young buck keeps walking towards me. I'm still watching the bigger deer. The young one comes out of the switchgrass, comes up on my ridge, and he's like 20, 25 yards away from me. And my wind's blowing great because it's blowing from my face backwards and the deer are coming in from my left. And I'm like, okay, as long as he doesn't pick me off, the other deer's probably going to follow him because every deer I've been seeing out there has been walking the same trail. So I'm sitting there, got my bow in my hand. Bigger buck comes out, gets done working his scrape, and hits that trail and just starts walking. Little 8-point, gets a little bit closer to me, got his head down, kind of sniffing around a little bit. I could tell he's being a little bit leery. The big buck, I get the full draw. Like, he's at the base of the ridge and he's coming up into the shelf of my 27-yard shot. Gets to the last tree branch and just freezes. And all I see is antlers and tail, and he's just watching what that little buck's doing. Because that little buck is scent checking all over the place. Can't figure out what's going on. Maybe 10-mile-an-hour wind the whole night. This wind gust picks up, like the kind of wind gust where all the leaves blew off the tree at the same time. Like, leaves just start taking off. And instead of blowing straight behind me like it's been doing all night, turn and blow directly to my left.
Oh man.
And as soon as it did that, that little buck just gone. And that big buck stands there for another second or two and turns and just walks right straight back where he came from. And I was like, you have got to be kidding me. He's a stud.
When you're talking that wind gust, I was out in it too because Sam made me go out. And man, my tree was rocking at one point. So
Yeah, it was
around
so
6
fast, and it was one single gust, and I was like, you have got to be kidding me. I needed one step out of this deer. I was already at full draw, and he's a 10-point. He's probably 4 inches outside of his ears, and I would guess high 130s, maybe low 140s. Just awesome deer. And I was like, you have got to be kidding. I was so mad. So I sit there. I don't get winded very much. Like we've talked about this on previous episodes. We're big on ozone. We're big on really taking care of our scent control. So I'm like, okay, the random wind gust got me, whatever. The wind's back to doing what it does. I had 3 more does and another small buck come out of the switchgrass on a different trail. And they didn't even get out of the switchgrass. And I could see them. Nose in the air, checking. Bolt. So now I've been busted by like 5 deer within 20 minutes. So it's 5:40 maybe. And I'm like, screw this, I'm getting down. This is stupid. Like I still don't know. I don't know if it was stuff being wet, if it made it stink more. Like I didn't do anything I don't normally do. I don't know if my thermals were pulling that direction or what it was, but I was like, I am not going to sit here and keep getting busted by deer. So it's like 6 o'clock, and I'm already back at the bike, taking a ride back. Oh, I got a story about the bike. So we've been talking if the bike spooks deer or not, right?
Yeah.
I tested it. I didn't test it. It just happened last night. I'm down out of the tree. I've got about, I don't know, a little less than a quarter mile probably ride down a farm road. And right next to the farm road is a cut bean field that is like 5 feet of mowed grass and then cut bean field. So no trees, no nothing, just pure wide open, right? So I jump on the bike and I'm cruising along. I actually looked down and I was doing 20 miles an hour, I think. And there were 3 does standing about 25 yards out in that cut bean field. And all 3 of them just watched me roll by. Never took a step, didn't run, didn't do anything.
Really?
I was like, that was sweet. I was joking with Matt. I said, I think if I leaned down on the bike too, I'd even look like a deer. So I'm going to wrap my bike.
You better hope that bike's quick during the run. You're going to get raped.
I'm going to wrap my bike in a deer tape, and I'm going to get blindsided by a buck. Now that'll be a podcast we're talking about. Oh, yeah.
Man, you're going to make me spend money on that.
So, yeah, it was sweet. Those deer, I mean, literally, there was not a single, there wasn't tall weeds, there wasn't anything between me and them. And they just sat there and watched me roll by and went about their merry way. I was like, that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, had a good encounter, but no dice.
I sat through the same stuff, and then that next morning, yesterday morning, right? I think.
Yeah, 20th.
I had the decision of do I go and hunt, or I was going to do a side job with my buddy, make a little extra cash right before we go to Ohio. That'd be great. So he's like, "Well, are you gonna hunt in the morning, or you want to just try to knock this out?" I was like, let's just knock it out. We'll be fine. Halfway there, I was like, man, I probably screwed up because we had all that rain.
Right.
Deer are going to be moving. Oh, well, let's just go. I finally, halfway through the job, I started looking through my trail cameras. Shooter walked right under my stand at 8:40 in the morning.
It did?
Yeah.
On the creek?
Yeah. Walked right through that creek.
I
Perfect.
told you I love that spot.
Yeah. I was like, come on.
Oh, no.
Yep. So that's just my luck.
Yeah. Yeah. But you're earning money for Ohio because what did we just find out this week?
Oh, good Lord. It made me want to puke. Tags went up, baby.
which is so crazy. I didn't even believe you when you told me that because I bought my tags the last week of September because I was going down to hunt with Matt for that first week of October, that
Right.
first weekend in October. So I think I was like 287 out the door, and that was with they called it an either sex tag, so you can tag a buck or a doe with it. And I bought a separate doe tag in case we got a chance to shoot
Oh, okay.
an early season doe. So I actually
And you gotta get your base.
so I got
base
2
license
tags.
or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
2 tags plus my base.
Right.
287 out the door. Went back, looked at my receipt, and then you called and told me what?
Went up to. It was $399 something. So it was like $400
Without a doe tag.
without a doe tag.
Yeah. So just to get your Ohio buck tag.
Yeah.
So we're going down to shoot the exact same deer here in about a week, but mine's about $120 less than yours.
Yeah. Always seems to pan out in Greg's direction.
Well, let this be a lesson, Stephen. A little preparation doesn't blow up
Yeah.
carrying it
Yeah,
in the
we
morning.
Label this podcast prep.
That may be a good one, actually.
Right. Prep, scout, all the above.
Be ready.
Good Lord.
Be ready for it. If not, if it can happen to somebody, it'll happen to Steve. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Feels
yeah,
like a good swift kick in the nuts every time.
if not, it always brings a smile to my face a little bit to know that I didn't have to live the story. I just get I get the recap.
Yeah, exactly. But Renee, my wife, was like, "Is that even worth it? Like, that's crazy." For
To buy a tag.
yeah. And my initial thought is, no, that's not worth it. If I didn't have the connections that I have down there, and it's more about the people to me down there now,
Right.
than it is the hunt itself. So we have
Well, we're not.
Jay and Matt and Logan, and we go down there and hang with those guys, and it's just like my week vacation that is just
Right.
I look forward to forever. So it's
Yeah,
like,
it's a week vacation. We're not paying for lodging.
right,
Everybody chips in on food and stuff. We eat really well while we're down there.
right,
But shoot, I mean, you'd have more than $400 into lodging alone.
right.
I just talked to a guy who tagged out here in Michigan early, and he bought an Illinois tag, and I don't even remember, $1,300-ish, I think he said.
Really?
Yeah, and I think maybe he said something. I've never hunted Illinois, so I apologize. I don't know this, but I think he said you have to buy maybe an archery and a gun tag. And he bought both. But yeah, I think he was telling me he was over $1,000. I know. So I was like, well, I guess it makes it a little easier to swallow 400 because I'm sure now that price has jumped, there's no way it's coming back down. They're not going to
No.
lower it next year. So it's probably going to be the new norm for us. But so yeah, so probably a good thing you did the side job because you can pay for your Ohio tag and be free and clear on it. And my cameras were slow yesterday, so other than the one shooter that walked underneath your tree
Yeah,
at
no big
8:40
deal.
in the morning.
No big deal.
Totally fine. It'll happen again, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah. When I'm in Ohio,
Yeah, exactly. Our favorite
6
time to
hours
watch our
away
Michigan
from where
cameras.
that buck is.
Happens every year. Oh, it's so funny. But yeah, I think that'll probably wrap us up for this week. But make sure you guys check us out on X and Instagram. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Check us out on YouTube if you want to see our faces. I don't know if you guys have noticed, we're proud to announce our partnership with SmokingIt.com, Smoking It Smokers. So you may have noticed the advertisement here at the beginning of the show, and thanks to Smoking It, we're able to bring this show to you. So
Awesome.
we're thankful to have them, and we'll see where it goes from there. But we'll be back at you guys next week.
Yeah, well, the heart